We want to call our February 2021 committee meetings to order. I want to remind the commissioners to please turn your mics on, and also when you speak directly through the mic there. We're having some problems picking up your voices on the video. So when you speak, please speak through the mics at this time. Commissioner DeBoard of the Finance Committee, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. All right, do we have any visitors wishing to address the committee? Seeing none in recurring business, we have the expenditure reports, and I'd like to see if anyone has a review and acceptance of those monthly checks. Do we have a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second. Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition, like sign? Motion carries. In old business, we have none. In new business, we have budget amendments. Finance Director Ann Bryant Hurst. Item A1, Hamlin County Board of Education. Actually, this one, I'm sorry, Ms. Antrican first, I apologize.
There are two items on this budget amendment, and the first is a grant of $2,050 from the state for our CTE or vocational department that will allow us to conduct a summer grant for students who are moving from the 8th grade to the 9th grade to familiarize them with the manufacturing course offerings at the high schools. And the second part of this grant is $83,202, and we have this one every year. It is our high-cost reimbursement from the State Department for our special education program. And you can see there we're using that for testing materials, travel, and occupational therapy and speech therapy for our special education students. We're happy to answer any questions you may have.
Motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Got a motion to approve. We got a second from Chris Cutshaw. Any discussion? If not, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition, like sign? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Antrican. Item A2, Fund 101 for the Sheriff's Department for $2,896.50. Ms. Hurst?
This just records the insurance proceeds that we received and puts it back into the line item where we paid for these repairs. So there was an accident here. As I understand it, someone that was being apprehended tried to avoid arrest, and there was an accident.
Do we have a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
Got a motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Item A3, Fund 116 for Sanitation Garbage Department, $30,000. Ms. Hurst?
Okay, I had seen, I believe, Mr. Poole here earlier, if he wanted to add anything to this.
Right there.
I see him now. If he wants to add add to the discussion on this, but again, it's for additional maintenance and repair services.
Guys, I can provide you a lot of information here. I've got some facts and figures that I could give to you, and you can see what's going on, but it's just a matter of needing more money to maintain the equipment, repair the trucks, maintain and repair the trucks. Joe Pullington's here with me. He can tell you about the details and what each truck's doing. He's got a history and the maintenance cost of each truck. So we'd be glad to share more information if you want it, but you tell me what your pleasure is.
Do you have copies for all of the commissioners?
Yes.
Pass those out to them, please.
All right.
Barry, is there any one item that we're having big issues with?
No, it's a combination. It's not just one thing. So, I wish we could exactly identify it easily, but it's not.
Yeah.
Do you have any particular questions for Joe? I mean, he can give you some summarized comments about things.
Here, Bill. Thank you.
Are some of the costs due to age of the equipment or just wear and tear, normal wear and tear?
There are several factors, and one is age of some of the equipment. Is wear and tear. One important thing to note is some of the newer equipment is requiring more technical repairs, which means we're relying more on the dealer for repairs, and that can get costly. We have a certain amount of abilities here at our facility where that we can facilitate some of those repairs ourselves, but due to the nature of, like I say, a lot of the electronics and stuff on this equipment, it does require dealer level software for diagnostics and such things as that. One thing in particular on the mowing tractors, we've got one of those, and you'll see that in some of the information he's passing out.
We'll get to that in the 131 fund, Joe.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll learn how this works eventually.
You got, in this tabulation, you got each garbage truck and what the model number is. You've got what we spent in those years, starting at 2015, 16 on through 2020, 21. So,
Barry, do you have another copy?
yes.
We need, Trish needs a
Yeah.
copy for the records. Thank you.
I think we were at this same place last year. And you may say, well, why didn't you budget more? And I think, Randy, if you will help me in the discussion, I think we tried to minimize it as much as possible and was hopeful that we wouldn't get into this.
Yes, and at the time, it was the start of the COVID that we were having these discussions, and we felt like this was not the appropriate year to have additional expenditures and try to allocate more toward those things. But we knew that this was a risk as well.
Randy, I'd like to go ahead and make a motion to approve the request.
Got a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Barry, do you see any way that we can start bringing this down at all?
Well, you know, everybody's got their own different philosophy with vehicles. Some people buy a new one every year, some people buy a new one every 5 years, some people drive them until they drop, and then they think about buying a new one. We're in the service business, and we need those trucks out there running every day. And, you know, Joe and I have talked about it. We had a program going that I think you know, sooner or later, I think some commissioners, I remember Doe getting frustrated about buying vehicles. But Joe and I feel like if you go ahead and put them on a program and you buy a new vehicle every 8 to 10 years, then you have pretty good luck with the vehicle. You don't get into all these costs. And so some vehicle like this tractor, we got one good year out of it and it started giving us problems immediately. We had 3 years of warranty time that we were able to ride on it, but after you get out of warranty, you get them to a dealership and buddy, there's high cost in repair. So we'd recommend looking at a program where we replace every vehicle every 8 years, every 10 years, whatever y'all would think is appropriate. And then if you see a vehicle that's giving a lot of problems, if it can't be fixed permanently, you know, before that. Or if you see a vehicle that's not cost anything in 10 years, go a little longer, but set up a system or a program where that's about what we do. Is we buy a vehicle, we use it for 8 years, and we get another one, if it's typical. I would urge you to think about something like that. Joe and I have talked about it, and we feel like that's the solution to it.
Brass tractor, you're having a lot of problem. That's a mower, isn't it?
Yeah,
Okay, that's, we bought that because it's the cheapest,
that's right, it's a little bit.
but we've got it in a fleet deal where we bought it from a dealer down around Nashville.
Yes.
And, we had a warranty on it. And if that tractor tires up, we gotta take it, we gotta pay to get it to Dixon, Tennessee and back.
That's right.
And without a warranty, if a warranty's off of it, you have to pay to get it down there and back, plus fixing it.
That's right.
And this particular tractor, as Joe and I talked, it's, when it's out, you use one of your old tractors that's several years old,
Yes.
that got 500 or 600 hours
Yeah.
doing it, where this tractor got 150 or 60 or something like that. So, but I think if we go with something, if we're gonna go the cheap route, we need to find out where people that fix them are at.
Yeah.
If it costs you $1,200 to go to Dixon, Tennessee to get that tractor fixed all the time, you're wrong. You butting your head against the wall. But if you go to John Deere, your dealer's up here at Greenville, 30 miles away.
Yeah.
And they've got people they'll come down to your company, down to the place and fix your tractors.
Yes.
How many times is that particular tractor, how many times have we done that? You know, Joe, how much money we got into doing all that?
Yeah. So I have a pretty good working relationship with that dealership, and they have probably on 3 occasions actually mailed me their computer, and where I could actually do the repair with their aid over the phone. Other than that, we have sent it back down there to them maybe 4 or 5 times. They've been helpful to us in some regards on sharing the cost of the travel, but unfortunately, that's no longer going to happen. The last one we sent down there, it was $600 down there and $600 back, and probably the time before that, they charged us for one direction, which was $600. For this point forward on that very tractor, we will be expected to pay that $1,200 down and back if it has to go back to them. And it's just out of warranty in February 3rd.
Well, wouldn't it benefit us if we got our own diagnostic computer and keep these things?
So, in a way it would. You're looking at about $10,000 for something that would work on that tractor. And
And that's not the New Holland Diagnostics, that's the.
it's an aftermarket, yes, yes. But the issue with that particular tractor is it actually, if you can look if you have time to look at that handout that Barry provided everyone, you can actually see that it will not stay up and running very long at all. So even if we had our own diagnostics, we'd still be faced with the trouble of the tractor constantly going down on us.
To Wayne's point, shouldn't we maybe look at letting that tractor go and replacing it? It's a lemon.
That's what we'd recommend. To stay in that same vein of thinking for a minute, Tim, let's say we can't get dealer diagnostics. They won't sell it to you. So if you try to get aftermarket and the diagnostics get so far, but the dealer's gotta reset something, or it's gotta be that dealer program that finally gets you to the end, you're still not there, okay? You can pay for the diagnostics, then you start talking about training every year. You start talking about this man making more money, and his two partners and his 2 people on his staff making more money. So it adds up every year. Either you spend the money to do it yourself, or you send it and spend the money to pay somebody else to do it. That's where we're at. Y'all know, yeah, every one of you drive vehicles. You pay one way or the other. You pay on the front end, and you pay on the back end. You either do your work and it costs you time and a little bit of money, or you pay somebody else and you go do what you want to while they fix it. So we're in the same boat.
Chairman, would it be advantageous to look at the budget this coming year to see if we can't turn this one over and,
And I think we can do that. The thing that I would, Barry, are there no other New Holland dealers between here and Dixon County?
The New Holland dealer, go ahead, Joe. There's one nearby, but they can't.
Not in Jonesboro, is it Jonesboro, you got one?
We have worked with Jonesboro before, and they were inadequate, and they've given us the help that we needed. And as far as that goes, as far as New Holland, that provides the mowing setup, the tractor with the mower attached to it, and then the support for all of that, they actually are the closest that I'm aware of, Dixon County. What Wayne was saying is the John Deere dealer in Greenville, they also do the state contract and sell the tractors with the mower attached and provide support, parts, and they're only 30 minutes away. The handy part is not that even that it's a different brand of tractor, but just that it's that close. We can get the tractor to them for repair if needed. They have multiple field technicians that can come to our site, even if the tractor's still on the road, not in running condition, they can come to us. Save us a lot of time. You'll also notice, I'll make this point right quick, the hours that are logged on that particular tractor, we had 830. I've got it here somewhere.
Yeah.
Anyway,
8:30.
we had 830 hours. The first hour we run it, the first year we run the tractor. The following year was only 635. And by year 2019, we only got 163 hours out of that machine. It was in the shop the rest of that time that year. This past year wasn't much better. And that trend will continue. But the biggest problem is the downtime. The fact that it has to go that far for the support that we need to get that repairs. And I think even if we had a tractor like this one that tore up all the time, if our supporting dealer was only 30 minutes away, our downtime would be up, and our uptime would be up.
Let's deal with the
Yeah.
the replacement of that vehicle during the budget process.
Chattanooga somewhere, or Knoxville?
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Like sign. Motion carries. Item 4A4, Fund 131, Highway Department for $90,000. Barry?
That's the same situation with the highway department, vehicles and equipment. We have more, thanks to you guys. We added a new crew, so we had some new equipment that we're maintaining, so the cost of maintenance did go up. But, it's the same situation. And Joe, you summarized what, with the, highway equipment and vehicles, you were relaying to me that it's a maintenance cost. It's not anything that's out of the ordinary. You didn't find anything out of the ordinary, did you? No. So it's just a matter of, the cost of operation.
So is that a maintenance agreement, or is it just various maintenance that comes up because?
Various maintenance that comes up with everything.
Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Got a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Item A5, Highway Department for $6,000. Barry?
We were able to get some money from an insurance that we hadn't spent $6,000 on to put towards concrete and pipe. Just, you know, the materials we need to do the work we have to do and will do on roads. So that's not costing us any additional money, that's just moving some around.
Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Got a motion, do we have a second?
I'll
Second.
second.
Got a motion and a second? Any discussion? If not, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Budget 4B, Budget Amendment Fund 101 to add 2% COLA raises for $168,876. Ms. Bryant?
This amendment and the two that are following have to do with making a budget amendment for the 2% COLA that y'all approved last month. So you approved the program, I'm gonna say, or the COLA in entirety, but for our purposes, we have to get that COLA into individual line items. So this is the follow-up amendment to that. It, the one for the general fund is, 4 pages long and encompasses over 100 different line items. Now, I just wanted to make this, and this is true for all 3 funds. We did, and you were given an estimate on what this 2% COLA would cost for a full year and for a half year. In going through it in detail, each of these amendments calls for less being moved out of fund balance than we originally projected. And let me give you the biggest example why I highlighted this inside the amendment. Because we have such turnover and problems with retention in the jail, which you are all aware of, we run, I'm gonna say fairly consistently, 4 to 5 empty positions. So we didn't need to add any additional funds to the line item for guards. In fact, I went ahead and made the amendment to increase our overtime where we will need funds, and that came from the guards line item. So, because of those specific circumstances in making this amendment, it requires less fund balance than we originally projected, but hopefully will get us through the end of the year in all of these accounts. So I took care of the jail overtime, which is something you all have seen, I think, for the past several years, coming back and taking that out of the guards line item. A couple of accounts needed help with health insurance. That has nothing to do with the COLA, but I took care of those while we were, while I was looking at all these personnel line items. And I tried to highlight anything that was like that, again, taking care of overtime. And so we only took $107,000 out of fund balance for this. And the rest of the funds came from moving money around within the accounts.
Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Got a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and second, any further discussion?
Mr. Chairman, again, I'll have to abstain from this since this directly affects my wife's pay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Stody. Any other questions or comments? If not, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
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 Any opposition, like sign. Motion carries. Item 4C, which is Budget Amendment Fund 116. This again is for COLA. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Got a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
And Mr. Cutshaw. Any additional comments or questions? If not, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Item 4D, Budget Amendment Fund 131 to add 2% raise for a $32,371 increase. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Got a motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Cutshaw? Do we have any further discussion? If not, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition, like sign? Motion carries. Item 4E, bid tabulation for bathroom upgrades at Cherokee Park. Mayor Britton?
This bid is for some repairs to
couple of bathrooms at the park using funds that are coming from the Tourism Enhancement Grant that we use to make the electrical upgrades to the campground and also some water upgrades in the campground. In the picnic area, the bathroom in the picnic area near the splash pad, they're replacing flooring, 4 fixtures, and replacing the ceiling where a tree limb fell through it. The bathroom at the campground office is replacing all the fixtures, sinks, and mirrors. And then in the Veterans Pavilion, it's repairing the bathroom ceiling, which was damaged from a water leak from the heat and air system above it. So the low bid is from John's Heck Plumbing at $9,930. $993 will be local funds, and the rest will be grant money.
So only an additional expenditure of how much? Nine.
Of
Local
local money or total?
Total, local money.
$993.
Mayor, there's a really big difference in these bids. Can you explain that?
I personally cannot.
I mean,
Yeah.
a big difference. So this 9,000 plus bid is going to cover everything that we need covered.
I asked Frank that question, just as he's confident that they can do the job for it, and he said yes. He thinks they may have had some of the fixtures in stock, and so they
So
wanted
that's the air, what's the name of the company again with
John's
It's-
Heck.
John's? They're gonna do everything,
Yes,
100%.
yes.
Well, if they don't, then give Frank a shovel and he can start digging some holes for outhouses out there.
I'll make that motion, we approve.
Got a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Step. Do we have any additional questions or comments? Mayor Britton, would the roof not be covered by insurance? And what's the deductible, I guess, would be the first question. Should I?
About $1,000 deductible, so
So it's nothing. Got it. Okay, do we have we've got a motion and a second. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Okay, item 4F, bid tabulation on the asphalt hot box trailer, which we have already approved. Do we have a motion to move forward with that? Are we having questions for Barry?
Maybe you could give us a little insight here, Barry.
That's that, hot box we pulled
No.
behind the dually.
Mm-hmm.
We sent it to 6 vendors. My understanding, it was emailed to 6 vendors. We only got one back. It's the same vendor, though, that we bought the first one from. The same features and everything, same options that we want to select.
You okay?
It's the very same. It cost a little less money this time, so that was good. I apologize, we don't have any other bids, but
Put that first one back.
I don't know why. They had an opportunity.
Can we trade the first one back in and get it at a better price? All right.
So you feel comfortable that this one is less?
Yes,
Do you
that's
feel-
exactly what we want.
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Cutshaw made a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Doty? Any discussion?
41,800, I believe.
375. 41,375.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Bid tabulation on garbage carts for Highway Department. Mr. Poole?
We got 2 bids on that. We had been making spot purchases from another company. We sent them an opportunity to bid. They didn't. So, these will be a different kind than what we've been buying when we buy less than $10,000 worth. But, we have had this auto cart that's the low bid in the past and had a little bit of trouble out of where the upper part of the lift hooks into it. That's a plastic piece and it has broken out some in the past. But, you know, they're supposed to have a 12-year warranty. We'll be getting in touch with the company and asking for replacement if it happens inside that 12-year warranty period. They are less than what we've been buying on those purchases that were less than $10,000. I think they were around $61, $62 a cart. This is only 52, I believe, 53.
Mary, on those cans that you're getting here, in case, I like looking way down the road,
Okay.
what I call the one-armed bandit garbage truck. These cans here is capable of being used by that truck.
We're on the same page, Jim. Those we bought in 2005 were for an automated truck as well.
Okay.
And the question on the truck is that they're not performing very well so far, is that correct? What's the reason why we don't have a truck that automatically connects and picks it up without an individual, correct?
We do not. Ours is a semi-automated operation. It requires a driver and a person on the back.
Yeah.
But we do have lifts on the back of the truck that we hook the carts to, and then it lifts it up and dumps it.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposition?
No, we haven't voted yet. Okay.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Do we have a motion, do we have a, oh, okay, I'm sorry. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Mr. Doty, do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Goins? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman DeVore. Chairman DeVore of the Budget Committee, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to call the Budget Committee to order. Do we have any visitors wishing to address the committee? Seeing none, in old business, we have none. In new business, fiscal year 2021-22, preliminary budget plan of action. Ms. Hurst?
You should have in your notebook a tentative schedule, as we always do. And you will begin to be needed for the meetings primarily in May and June. We will be getting the worksheets out to our departments within the next week to 10 days. We'll be going through our departmental budget meetings typically through the month of March, and then compiling the budget to present to you during April and May. And as we always like to emphasize, these dates are tentative and what we believe will work on the front end, though they may require some alteration as we get into the actual budget process. So, if you have any questions or see anything there that you know won't work, let us know, but sometimes it's hard to get everyone scheduled in 100%. We know that all of you have to miss meetings at times. And included is our budget memo, pretty much the standard memo. And then again, in the next 10 days, we'll be getting out the letter to the officials and department heads.
Are we expecting anything this year in the way of, well, last year we were very careful with not knowing how the year went. Do you have any foresight of what's coming?
Now, here's what I do know. We received, and this, you'll be seeing this coming up next month, where we'll be budgeting some of the COVID CARES Act money that we received this year. At this present time, except for the school system, I do not know of any new large, I'm going to say, funding programs for our general government. We were cautious. Hopefully, we'll have a little bit more of an understanding about how our things are opening up. We were very fortunate, I know we've had this conversation earlier, that we did not see sales tax plummet as we were given indication by almost everyone we talked to. I'm talking we talked to CTAS, we talked to folks in the comptroller's office, and folks were budgeting very conservatively, and we followed through with that. Hopefully, we can see that we're kind of on track, staying about this, I'm gonna say, maybe not gaining a lot, but not losing either. So that's what I can tell you,
Okay.
Commissioner.
Thank
Right now, no new large grant funding programs, and just still being cautiously optimistic about what we see on the revenue side.
Thank you.
Ms. Hurst, you know what our growth is this year? Our growth?
Growth, are you talking about additional property tax growth, that type of thing?
Yes.
Back during the reappraisal, I'm thinking we were somewhere around 10% for the year. I think it might have even been a little bit more, but I don't have the number right in my head. Now, what we would expect over the year that we're in right now, I do not know. I have not seen numbers that would help me figure that out. We had some fairly good growth from the reappraisal process. But how that will continue forward, I just have not looked at those individual numbers yet.
Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Got a motion, we got a second?
Second.
Chris Cutshall. Any discussion? If not, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman. The board, at this time, will recognize Chairman Chris Cutshaw of the Real Estate Committee.
I'd like to call the Real Estate Committee meeting to order. Are there any visitors that'd like to address the committee? Seeing none, we'll move to new business. 3A, request to purchase a no-bid property. I'd like to call our trustee Scotty up to podium, fill us in.
This is a piece of property that we had a real good sale here on January 11th. We actually put up 75 parcels and we sold 74. This is the only partial that did not get a bid. And the city had already bought 20 parcels in September that they've got into a surplus that they are selling. And so what this would be costing the county, if you see there, is $7,252.86, which indirectly, really, we're paying the court fees and the attorneys, and then the city of Marshtown. The property becomes exempt at this point, and we continue our pursuit of selling it through the real estate committee. It does continue to accrue interest too.
Okay, and if that comes to light that we sell this, what would that purchase price be?
It would
Explain
still
that
be
to us.
base price.
Okay,
Base price of taxes plus interest.
thank you, thank you.
And if we get a bid from someone who wants to buy it, then of course we got to do our public
Right,
diligence.
give someone else the opportunity if someone wants to buy it.
Partial is a little landlocked piece of land up there, so hopefully one of the people right there adjacent would be the best choice for it.
Understood. So, do we have a motion to proceed?
So moved.
Second? A second? Who? Mr. Reed, thank you. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I'd like to
Thank
give-
you.
I'd like to give you a little bit more update on something that we've done. From 19, when I went into this office, I kind of got about October, November, started looking at delinquencies and where we're at on delinquent taxes. Looking from, and my goal was to take the first 2015 and older taxes. There were 200 partials. We've narrowed that down to now, there's like 10 left in that group. So between November 19 and where we currently are, we had this sale in January, we've collected $1,343,000 in delinquent property taxes. As we collect the older taxes, of course, we're collecting 16s, 17s, and 18s. just want to let you know where we're at on the office and what we're doing. So we've actually increased, our tax. We've collected 1.3. That's taxes, that's base tax plus interest. Also, what the goal is to be having an annual tax sale 1 month a year. Currently, looks like it may happen in August. We'll know we'll have that every year, so people know it. And then also, I'd like to get us to what I call a 3-year window where we only have 3 years on our books and we're selling the 4th year to get rid of all this stuff that's in arrears here. A lot of mistakes, there's a lot of accounting things and various issues with some of these partials, to get them all cleared up. So there's more work to be done. But I just want to give you an update where we're at.
Wh-
So
while
you
you-
don't have a lot of years like we used to have,
Not now. we
8,
don't.
9 years.
We went from
hung around.
200 to really that 20 is only about 10 once we get done. Now that would be 15 back. So you got 16, 17, 18, but when I would collect a 15, I was also getting a 17, 18 paid at the same time, and a 19 to 20. So we're only showing right now $1.2 million outstanding delinquent taxes, which 800,000 of that is 841 is 19, 200,000 of that is 18 taxes. So from 17 rear, we only got $200,000 outstanding.
Can you tell me why is that they're paying 2 and 3 years now?
They have to pay.
They haven't.
If we picked up on what I'm trying to say. I picked up on that group of property, but when you sold it, everything was in the clerk and masters, which would go all the way up to 18. They had to pay all that.
So you just went up with them.
Yeah, but I was looking at that group that was so delinquent.
In the past, we hadn't done
Yeah.
that, have we?
No, we hadn't done our work. But that's where we're at. So we're making big strides in getting that done and getting it narrowed down to a smaller window.
Good job, Scott. I appreciate your job you're
Yeah,
doing up
thank
there.
you. s-
Yeah.
I've got one more question for you. Just could you update us maybe on our sales tax coming in or property tax?
The property tax, we're about 2% ahead of where we were last year. It's flowing without a problem. Sales tax has been up. We haven't got this latest one. This would be the Christmas numbers, but our sales tax has been through the roof. We've been up double digits most months in 2020. Kind of hit a lull there, so we'll see what Christmas had.
Right.
When I say Christmas, what we will put on the books here in February 20th is actually December's revenue,
Gotcha.
if you understand that.
I'm not sure
mean,
I have it like
There's no
you.
signs that people are spending money.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I'm glad to hear it's been a blessing. Our county's sustained as it has.
Yeah,
And it's been to our advantage that they've been spending it on the internet, because where the item is dropped off
yeah,
gets the tax. so-
yeah. The county's up
And that's really helped
tremendously,
us out a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, the county's up tremendously.
Thank you, Scotty. Yes, sir.
And on a side note, I'd just like to thank all of y'all for your cards, your thoughts, your prayers, your texts, emails, food, everything everybody did, morning room around here, just in regards to my mother and our family. We thank you.
Chairman, that's all I have.
Thank you, Chairman Cutshaw. At this time, we'll recognize Chairman Tim Goins of the Public Service Committee.
Thank you, Chairman. I'd like to call the Public Service Committee to order. Any visitors wishing to address the committee? Seeing none. Items 4A, surplus items from Hamilton County Clerk. There are 8 printers and 2 servers, 9 printers and 2 servers. I take a motion. Motion. Motion, second? Second. All in favor, saying aye?
Aye.
All opposed? Item 4B, surplus item from the Property Assessor's Office, which is a Ricoh, I think it's a copier. Ricoh copier. I put that up for motion.
Motion.
Second? Second. All in favor? No motion, saying aye? Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Chairman, that's all I have.
Thank you, Chairman Goins. This time, we'll recognize Chairman James Stepp of the Calendar and Rules Committee.
Thank you, Chairman. Call the County Rules Committee to order. Anyone wishing to address the committee, you have 5 minutes to do so. If not, 3, there is no old business. We go to 4A, under new business. Review the regular calendar items. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
A motion, do I have a second?
Second.
A second, any discussion? If not, all approved say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 4B, review the consent calendar items. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Have a motion, we have a second?
I'll
Second.
second.
Second, any discussion? If not, all approved say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. That's you, Chairman, that's all I have.
Thank you, Chairman Stell. I've got some announcements I need to share with you before we adjourn. First of all, I want to remind you of our regular commission meeting, Thursday, February the 18th, at 5 p.m. here in this courtroom. Also, I'd like to remind you of the Rules Committee meeting, Thursday, February the 25th, at 6 p.m. here in this courtroom. I've also been asked to announce that ETHRA has reserved Friday, February the 12th, from 1 to 4 p.m. for the local officials for a trial run of the Lakeway Transit fixed route system, if interested. If you do want to try the fixed route system, please remember that it is required to wear a face mask using public transportation. You can catch the transit bus at ETHRA office in the Goodwill Shopping Center on West Andrew Johnson Highway. And I'm sure Trish will email this announcement to you as well. We've accomplished our business tonight, so we stand adjourned.
Hey, Randy.